So, I believe it was 2006 that Mr. Dawkins published his book, The God Delusion. I have never paid too much attention to his writings, simply because I thought the hype would die a fast and silent death. You see, his book isn't what you would call a very sophisticated philosophical book. It is smoothly written, but it lacks a lot, philosophical speaking. Anyway, I was wrong about the dying stuff. Many still love his audacious mantra, with which Dawkins actually starts his second chapter.
The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction. Jealous and proud of it, a petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak, a vindictive, bloodthirsty ethnic cleanser, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, infanticidal, genocidal, filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully.
I have always wondered what one could answer this foolish but immensely popular statement given by Mr. Dawkins in his equally foolish book, The God Delusion. Skeptics, atheists and many unbelievers love this kind of rhetoric. It sounds so challenging, it sounds so bold, it sounds so tough. But in reality it gives away a total misunderstanding of the biblical God. Mr. Dawkins might know a thing or two about biology, but theologically speaking, he fails big time. So let's discuss a few of these titles he so boastfully assigned to the God of the Bible. Let's see what we can say about it without going into endless debates. So, we will start with the very first title he gave to the biblical God. He said God is jealous. And let's take Exodus chapter 20 verse 4 and 5 to see what he's referring to. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself for them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. And there are many more texts in which we hear that God is actually jealous. But what is this jealousy all about? You see, the Hebrew used the word jealous here. The Hebrew word is gana. I probably do not pronounce it correctly, but this word has an extra meaning which is best translated as zealous. In other words, God cares passionately about his people, his creation. He does not want us to fall into the trap of bondage of another so-called God. The Apostle Paul shows this passionate jealousy in his second letter to the Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 2. I am jealous for you with a godly jealousy, because I have promised you to one husband, to present you as a pure virgin to Christ. All of those jealousy statements from God are in the context of infidelity and are statements of a broken heart. The Merriam-Webster dictionary explains infidelity as the act or fact of having a romantic or sexual relationship with someone other than one's husband, wife or partner. So we're not talking about this childish God who wants to have that one toy the other kid happened to have. No, in fact, it is a jealousy a husband should have when he sees his wife flirting with another man. Or maybe even when another guy starts flirting with your wife. I would not accept that, would you? Let's see what he says more. A petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak. Petty means small, of little importance. With this word, the author gives away his own boastful attitude. If one thinks of the creator of the universe as a petty personality, I believe that person should pay a visit to an honest psychiatrist. Really. It is one thing to downplay the creator's character, but to think of him as a nitwit? And I know that the author, Mr. Dawkins, meant to say that God is oversensitive when it comes to sin. The author says that a petty God makes for petty worshippers. Speaking of early Christians, the early Christians' preoccupation with sin. Dawkins writes, they could have devoted their pages and their sermons to extolling the sky splashed with stars, or mountains and green forests, seas and dawn choruses. These are occasionally mentioned, but the Christian focus is overwhelmingly on sin. Sin, 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 sin. What a nasty little preoccupation to have dominating your life. Well, the part of our problem is we have a view of God where we just make God like a big person. We might think he is just like us, but he just isn't he? If you're going to study this, you'll see that God is actually very different from us. Whatever the view of God is we have in our mind, it's in some way inadequate. Also, the idea that God is behaving oversensitive concerning sin gives away that there is no real understanding about the gravity of sin. Many people look at sin as something we just shouldn't pay attention to. You see, like, if you don't pay attention to sin, it all disappears. And you might end up thinking sin is just trivial. But that kind of thinking has brought humankind in this depraved position in the first place. God has seen it unfolding. He has been the witness of our petty thinking concerning sin. He also knows how sin ruins everything. We are quick to blame others for the things that happen to us, but Jeremiah 17 verse 9 sums it up. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Anyway, let's move on. Unjust. Is God unjust? Why would someone think that God is unjust when he says that the wicked will be punished? How often I heard people say that if God is just, he would have made an end to all misery. And then my usual response is to ask that person what that action would entail. Must God make an end to all lies, sexual misbehavior, anger, all poverty? Must he make an end to all bad things? And if so, where would you stand on that very same criteria you just created yourself? You never lie? Cheat? You never have sexual fantasies? You never cursed? Or never behaved like a jerk towards others? Just count your blessings that God is long-suffering, not willing that any will perish. So, unforgiving. Let's assume you are married to the most wonderful woman or man in the world. Now your spouse decides to sleep the night in the same bed as the post deliverer. And even worse, your spouse takes the new partner to your own house and he or she starts to use your own bed. And all this happens right in front of your eyes and that of your children. Can I safely assume that you are going to have some trouble forgiving? We humans have been like this adulterous man or woman towards our Creator. We have done it right in front of His eyes. We actually used all that is rightfully His for our own pleasures. However, God didn't abandon us in an unforgiving wrath. No, He actually sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to offer a way out of this corrupt situation. Only haughty people would dare to say He is unforgiving. Okay, and then for today we will end with the control freak thingy. I guess I'm a control freak as well. We, my wife and I with our 5 children, have lived in a very remote village for 5 years. No good source of clean drinking water, no proper road out of the area, no vegetables to be found nearby. I mean, it was remote. And every time we traveled to the capital city, I took the opportunity to get the car to a good garage. I needed to be able to rely on my strong 4x4 to get in and out of our area. Also, we've made sure we had enough medicine with us when we returned. A medical kit complete with surgical knives and good anesthetics. Finally, we also tried to bring back as many vegetables as possible. My children and my wife depended on me for this simple but very important strategy. So does this make me a control freak? Definitely yes. I know what is good for my family, and it would be a huge sin to neglect that knowledge. So how about the creator of heaven and earth? Would he know a thing or two about what is good for us? I would say so. Still, some would say that God shouldn't intervene with our lives. These same people, on the other hand, will do everything to protect their own families, right? So how hypocritical can you be? So, this was the first part of this quote, and I don't want to make the video too long, so I'll tackle the next bit next time. I actually have no intention to give Dawkins or his followers a platform on my channel, so I'm not going to debate this with atheists who love this book. I just don't gonna debate them about this. Still, I think it's good to talk about these kind of atheistic mantras. Not so much to win the debate with an atheist. Many of them have dug themselves in and have no intention to budge whatsoever anyway. But maybe your colleagues or your sportsmate or maybe a family member has heard this kind of talk and is wondering how much of it is true. Maybe you yourself are a little overwhelmed by these words of Mr. Dawkins. Then it is good to have this chat, to see what the possible answers can be, to learn how wonderful God actually is. Anyway, do let me know your thoughts in the comments of the video or article below. Remember, I'm mostly active on my Odyssey channel. You'll find a link to that channel in the description of this video. I also very much appreciate your prayers and your support. Please take a look in the description of this video to find out how you can help me. I also have these links on my website. Also, I place a link there to both the Dutch and English transcripts of this video. And finally, you'll find the links to other videos I've made about this topic. And that's all in the same description. So, how cool is that? Anyway, God bless you. Thank you for watching. And let's see how we approach the rest of Dawkins' quote in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. You can give me a thumbs up if you liked it. You can also subscribe to my channel, or even better, follow me on Odyssey. That way you will never miss a new video. You will find all the links in the description below.